My name is Lucky Agbomaji, the founder and the director of Maoli Dance Troupe. The project Loss of a Lost Baobab. The production of the musical Diary of a Lost Baobab. And each film production is a central part project beside other 5 art projects, which will be realized and released as a main project, Life of a Baobab. The 6th part project of this production puzzle, the Baobab, is 1. Production of musical. We have music dance theater with the title Diary of a Lost Baobab and its cinematic film production. 2. Production of a live concert, the Dancing Baobab, and its film production of a highlight of music history of Africa, traditional, neo-traditional, and modern music, newcomer and classical music from different music. From Africa, like for example, traditional music, high life music, Afrobeat, old school, hip life, Zougoulou, Coupé Décalé, Africa jazz, Afro blues, funk, soul music, and etc. Much more are played by different musicians, traditional groups, orchestra, choral, DJ, etc. Beside African music highlights, the musician will play their own creative pieces or their own music. 3. Book Anthology Africa. Note of a Baobab. Take us on a literary trip through Africa, different regions of Africa. For example, Algeria, Egypt, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and many more. This gets you an insight and different participants at the people and culture of Africa, society, and music. 4. Documentary book. Diary of a Lost Baobab, making of behind the scene, artistically and technical participants, background information of script and musical, used music, culture of Africa, and etc. 5. Documentary film. Interview with various experts and participants and their view, perspectives of Africa, and the project of the musical Diary of a Lost Baobab. 6. Interaction, informations and art exhibition, art paints and photos about Africa and intellectual relationship, culture, and development. The motivation and the aim of this production is to sensitize, acknowledge societies worldwide on the heritage of the high culture and the history of Africa. The precondition for instant intercultural interaction on the same eye level. On the other side, we want to promote through this project of Baobab Africa artistically knowledge, value, and their artists. In the following projects description, we focus on the information about the concept of the central project, the production of the musical Diary of the Lost Baobab, and its cinematic production. Now, summary of the project. The production and film production of the musical Diary of a Lost Baobab. The poor knowledge and bad image of Africa, and with that, the high discrimination of Africans and a neglected continent. In Western civilization, is until today unbroken. This reminds me when I was in Malaysia, a lady asked me that in Africa we sleep on trees, and even we live with animals in the bush, that we have no houses. And I was like, huh? Wow. No, it's not like that. That is not true. In Africa, we live in houses like you live here in Malaysia. We even have good houses. So you can just imagine, elsewhere Africa or elsewhere in Asia, just imagine the discrimination over there, the knowledge about Africa over there. So with this production of the musical Diary of a Lost Baobab and its film production, publication and distribution, film festivals, cinemas, seminars, workshops, especially in Europe, America, Asia, and in Africa as well. The organization Be or Moon / Pacopa aims on the one side to sensitize and acknowledge of these societies on the heritage of the high culture and the history of Africa, the precondition for Eastern and international interactions on the same eye level. On the other side, we want to promote through this production of Baobab, Africa artistically knowledge. The musical will be performed on 7 stages by more than 500 professional actors, dancers, musicians, and acrobats from different cultures of Africa. For example, the Maoli Pan-African Dance Ensemble, National Symphonic Orchestra of Ghana, Africa Harmonious Choir, Ghana Central Police Band, etc. Makes the musical to be one of the biggest art performance in Africa. The musical Diary of a Lost Baobab is trying to reflect in 6 chapters the rich, colorful variety of Africa cultures included in a historical review. The musical is accompanied by highlight of music history of Africa tradition, new tradition, and modern music. Newcomer highlights and played by different musicians, traditional groups, orchestra, Christian choirs, and Muslim choirs, DJs, and many more. In collaboration with Das Multimedia Production and Imadat Film Production, and their high-end sound, light and film equipment, as well as film crew of 20 selected cameramen of different TV stations across Ghana. We are covering the original version of the musical at Independence Square, Ghana, the second largest public place within a city in the world, to produce this cinematic film event. Concept and description of the musical. The project idea is the production of a musical, music dance theater, or a pantomime music dance theater with the title Diary of a Lost Baobab and its cinematic film production. The title of the production is Diary of a Lost Baobab. The theme of the musical, the music, dance theater, Diary of a Lost Baobab, is trying to reflect the rich, colorful, and broad variety of African culture embedded in historical review. And the aim of the musical, the Diary of the Lost Baobab, is trying to reflect the rich, colorful, and broad variety of African culture embedded in historical review, with the production of the musical and its cinematic production, as well as publication and distribution, film festivals, cinemas, internet, especially in Europe, America, Asia, Africa, and so on. Our aim is also to entertain our audience beside an amazing entertainment. We really want to entertain, to sensitize and acknowledge the precondition for esteem, also to promote Africa artistical knowledge. As you know, the bad image about Africa, so as the artistical knowledge is so bad in the Western countries, and the value of African writers, painters, actors, dancers, musicians, arts and music form and their artists. Also to contribute on a debate on culture and development. The production of musical Diary of a Lost Baobab and its film production, as well as the side production, live concert, anthology, book and movie, documentary, and info. Art exhibition about Africa should close another gap to insight and knowledge of the strangers of Africa. It is an invitation to a journey to the strange of the culture and histories of Africa. The world is a book. Who do not travel, read only one side of the book. This is a saying by Augustus. The piece of the Diary of Lost Baobab, in opposite to Western civilization, word spread dark and negative images, as well as often associated romanticizing good mood music productions, shows the different perspectives of Africa. The display of rich, colorful diversity of African cultures and elements, rights, economies, festivals, beliefs, and so many more. They should be reflected and embedded in a historical review. Pre-colonial times and empires, colonial oppression by the Europeans, fight for independence, post-colonial time, and Africa today. So beside the daily life, the importance of various African ceremonies, rites, beliefs, and life forms like marriage, extended family, death, and so many more, as well as social issues such as apartheid, immigration, ethnic conflict, corruption, slave trade, fight against oppression will be thermalized. The story will be accompanied by historical elements of traditional, neo-traditional, and modern Africa music, such as Maria Makeba, Ruf Masekela, Fela Kuti, Tikan Ja Fokoli, if I mention the name well, Ofori Aponsa, Salif Keita, Angelique Kidjo, Shib Caleb, Yusuf Ndo, Oli Van Takudi, and many more. The film production of the musical Diary of a Lost Baobab covers a wide range of film genre, and with that, a wide range of a target group. Example: Panorama, international production and contributions, history, historical reversal, culture, presentation of foreign cultures, generation, young and old, the guidelines for age from 6 years, education in the area of Africa, culture, history, migration, intercultural, competencies, culture and development, music and dance / dance theater. In particular, the target groups in the areas of Africa, Europe, North America, South America, but also Asia, Near Middle East, and Far East are connected in a different ways with the content and the subject areas. Example: diaspora, history, colonization, the slave trade, imperialism, culture, migration, and integration. Intercultural relation works, immigration, culture, and many more of the planned music and film production. The background of the story is to display the rich, colorful diversity of African cultures embedded in a historical review. Pre-colonial times and empires, colonial oppression by the Europeans, fight for independence, post-colonial times in Africa today. Besides the daily life, the importance of various African ceremonies, rites, belief, and life form like marriages, extended family, death, etc., as well as social issues such as apartheid, migration, ethnic conflict, corruption, slave trade, fight against oppression, etc. The Diary of the Lost Baobab shows in 6 chapters cultural dynamics, social processes of changes, a diversity of life forms, and multiple ways of development, as well as different problems, fields like corruption, power, resources, and richness. It shows the relationship between Africa and the rest of the world, and try to display perspectives on the development in times of globalization and the future. At the same time, we will be presented different facts of rich and colorful cultures and arts, accountable social, economic, and political life, which lived in life with happiness, parallel and unimpressed of the modern life and influence. in collaboration with Das Multimedia Production and Emadat Multimedia Production and their high-end film equipment and their experienced film crew of 20 selected cameramen. The publication, distribution, and exploitation of the film Diary of the Lost Baobab is planned at film festivals, cinemas, DVD, TV, Web 2.0, seminars, workshops, exhibition, film presentations worldwide, Europe, America, Asia, and Africa. Now, financing the project through crowdfunding. For the independence and free artistical work and production of the musical, Diary of the Lost Baobab tries not to engage to inconvenient and limiting production houses and sponsors consequently. The practice of this project will allow, with your help of funds, a low budget production to realize budget of the musical Diary of a Lost Baobab. Let me take you to the Krobo land of Ghana, where they perform the puberty rite for young girls, where they prepare them for marriage, and you have to go through this before you get married, showing that you are matured enough to get married. So they go through this being a festival to prepare the children for marriage. And also there is a dance from Nigeria that they also use for marriage, to prepare the young people for marriage. There is a dance from Benin called Kadodo, meaning fence of wall. Women do this dance to prepare the way for the men for war. Without the women doing this to prepare the way, that means the way is not secure for the men to go for the war. So usually before the men go for war, the ladies do this dance to prepare the way for men. And whenever they go for war, they always become victorious. So this speaks a lot about our culture and our tradition. When you come to the Ashanti land and the Ewe land in Ghana, there was a conflict between the Ewes and the Akans, whereby they are fighting for a land. And there was a wise man, a very old wise man, who want to tell the world how wise he is. This old man ended up joining these two tribes together. They were each and every day fighting against each other for that portion of the land. There came a time where the old man made them wise fighting, and he got to let them know that he is very wise, and through that he united the two clans. And today when you come to Ghana, this become a very big festival that we celebrate.